Is there something holding you back? Is it your fears? Are you afraid to take action that you know you should do? Are you afraid of change? We all have our fears, and some of them are well-founded. However, there are some things that we are scared of, and when we examine them further, they're actually not that scary. My name is David, and on this channel, we talk about how to live a more meaningful life through the inside. Today, we're going to talk about a tool, fear setting, that was inspired by Stoicism and introduced by Tim Ferriss. First of all, a few words to Tim Ferriss. Tim Ferriss is a best-selling author. He describes himself as a human guinea pig. He read many books. Some of them include the 4-Hour Workweek, 4-Hour Body. I read the 4-Hour Workweek, and it's one of my favorite books I've ever read. So great shout out to Tim Ferriss. Now let's go and talk about the fear setting tool technique. What is it? So it comes from Stoicism and from Latin, premeditatium lorum, which means premeditation of evils. I'm going to start with a quote by Seneca that says, "We suffer more often in our imagination than in reality." Think about it for a second. Isn't it so true? In essence, fear setting is about visualizing the worst case scenario and then examining it further to see what's actually out there. There is 3 parts to fear setting. It's pretty simple. This worksheet that I'm going to show you is going to be in the notes. So the first thing is to define. First of all, we're going to define our fears. What are we afraid of? So I'm going to describe an example that I want to take a solo trip around the world. So what are my fears around it? Well, first fear is that I'm going to run out of money as I'm traveling. Second, I'm going to be getting homesick. And third, I might get sick or have an accident as I travel. We can say all valid fears. Step number 2 is prevent. What can we do to prevent our fears from happening? So for fear number 1, I'm going to make a budget. I would put some money aside just to be sure that if I spend all the money or if somebody robs me, then I still have some money on the side. Number 2, I'm going to talk to my parents, to my family often, to my friends, messaging, FaceTime. These days we have all the technologies, so just going to FaceTime them. And last, I'm going to get a travel insurance and make sure that I know about the country where I'm going, make sure that I know the risks, that I bring medication with me and all of these necessary things. Number 3, repair. What can we do to repair if the worst case scenario happens? Okay, let's say I'm gonna spend all my money and I'm gonna be broke. Well, luckily I have the money that I set aside, but I would stop booking expensive hotels, expensive accommodation or trips or tours. I would try to stay more in hostels and just try to save money whenever I can. For number 2, socializing. So I would stay in social hostels where I can meet some people. I would try to talk to people. And in the worst case, if I'm really homesick, then I'm just gonna come back home. For number 3, if something happens, then I'm going to talk to my travel insurance agency to get my money back. I'm going to take all the medications that I have, and I'll do everything I can to make sure that I'm fine. Okay, so that was the first part. Now the second part of the fear setting exercise is to write down and think about the benefits of partial success or of an attempt. So what would happen if I go on the trip? Well, I think a lot of good things would happen. First of all, I would have some amazing experiences, meet new people, meet new cultures. Second of all, I would create lifelong memories. So again, I would widen my consciousness, my horizons. Third, I would create lifelong memories, network of people, and just overall, I would make something happen. So I would trust myself more the next time I can do it again. That's the second part. And the last part, we are gonna talk about the cost of inaction, either in 6 months, in a year, or in 3 years. So what would happen if I don't do this trip? So in 6 months, I would be stuck in my place where I am right now. I would feel like I want to go do something, but I just wouldn't have the courage to do that. In 1 year, it would be similar. Maybe my frustrations would be larger. I would still be stuck in the same place and just think about how cool it might be if I do the trip. In 3 years, likewise, again, my frustration is even bigger, and maybe it's too late for me to actually go, and then I would have regrets that I didn't do this trip. And that is pretty much it. So now, when I look at the worksheet, yes, of course, there's always risks associated with some big decisions. But as I look at it, I would for sure take the trip. And if the worst happens, then I know how I'm gonna handle it. And then I would do my best to handle it. This exercise can be used for any life decisions, can be big decisions, small decisions. It can be leaving our job, or even leaving a relationship, or maybe going on a date, or going to a different place, moving, buying this thing or that thing, or just taking that action. So you can use this for any single life event or situation. So when we break down our fears systematically, we see what is really happening, and then we can make a better decision if we want to take action or not. Because, as Seneca said, often we suffer more in our imagination than in reality. That is the quote that I'm going to end with. And also, if you guys want to learn more, I created a free community on a school platform that you can join. The link is in the notes. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video.